The Supreme of all worlds, the King of Power and Destiny. Chapter 1 The Power of Rebirth. The sky suddenly exploded, and the light poured down like a waterfall. Ling Tian knelt in the broken void, his heart beating violently, and the memories of his previous life surged back like a tide, countless defeats, countless setbacks, and countless strong people stepping on his head. In this life, I want to practice the strongest body and step on all the heavens and all worlds. Ling Tian roared in a low voice. The light gradually dissipated, he stood up, feeling that the strength of his whole body was extremely surging, and the blood in his body was surging, like a frenzy of swallowing and spitting out stars. Around, the spiritual energy surged, the heavens and the earth trembled, and the mountains in the distance seemed to surrender to him. Ling Tian stretched out his hand and grabbed it, the air was distorted by him like flowing water, and his rebirth was destined to be a day when all worlds were turned upside down. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 2 The Beginning of All Worlds. Ling Tian was reborn in a small wilderness village, where the aura was strong, but he could see the abnormality at a glance. There was a valley that was blocked by the ban nearby. There is a treasure. Ling Tian's eyes were like torches. He approached the valley and found an ancient stone stele with the inscription twinkling like stars, engraved, "If mortals want to live forever, they must first strengthen themselves." Ling Tian laughed, he felt the blood vessels in his body swell, his muscles were as hard as steel, and his physical strength far exceeded that of ordinary monks. Whoever is the hardest, who is the strongest, who has a long life, in this life, I want to prove it to everyone. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 3 Try your skills for the first time. Young people gathered in the small village, and Ling Tian showed his strength for the first time. A provocateur shouted, "You are just a waste, and you still want to dominate the world." Ling Tian smiled slightly, grabbed the opponent's fist kicked with one hand, and the force of his fingertips directly shook the opponent several feet away. The whole village's eyes widened, it was the first time they had seen such a terrifying power. The village chief stepped aside and secretly sighed in his heart, this kid. The future may not be comparable to mortals. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 4 Alien Attack. Just as Ling Tian was exercising, the sky in the distance suddenly cracked, and a group of demon disciples rode strange beasts and descended. They were domineering, each of them exuding a strong murderous aura. Ling Tian blocked the attack of the foreign leader with one hand, his body flashed like lightning, and his fist shattered the mountain rocks. The foreign disciple exclaimed, "This person! How can it be so strong?" Ling Tian's eyes swept across the audience, and the corners of his mouth rose slightly, "Whoever is the strongest should stand at my feet." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 5 Women Follow. An innocent little loli appeared in front of Ling Tian, widened her eyes and shouted, "Brother, you are so powerful, I want to follow you." Ling Tian lowered his head and smiled, and stretched out his hand to protect her behind him. "Child, it's right with me, you will be safe and you can see the bigger world." Since then, Ling Tian has begun to gather all kinds of female followers, either charming or resolute, all of whom are wizards in the cultivation world. They respected him and followed him, but Ling Tian had only one goal, to be unbeatable. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 6 The Provocation of the Saintess of the Demon Gate. The saint of the Demon Gate in the distance, Yeli, appeared with a smile and provocation, "You mortal boy, do you dare to be arrogant in front of us?" Ling Tian smiled slightly, his fist exploded like thunder, causing Yeli to take a few steps back, but his eyes were calm. "Not a pervert, who is the strongest, who has a long life, I only recognize strength." Yeli secretly admired him in her heart, and from then on she was both respectful and intimidated by Ling Tian, and began to secretly observe and follow him. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 7 Honing the Body. Ling Tian retreated for several months, practicing the strongest body, his bloodline awakened, and his fists seemed to be able to break the earth. Every time he practiced, he was breaking through the limit, stepping on the void, and fusing his power to the extreme. Ling Tian laughed softly and said, "Good boy. Learn from me, strength is the way to immortality." underscore 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 un. Chapter 8 The First Battle of All Worlds. Ling Tian stepped into the Wanja arena for the first time and confronted strong people from all walks of life. There were clouds of masters in the field, with swords, magic and spiritual power intertwined, and even otherworldly beasts appearing. He smashed the opponent's formation with one punch. His figure was like streamer lightning, and every shot shattered the space. The audience exclaimed, "This young man. He is no longer an ordinary person." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 9 Mysterious Treasure. Ling Tian obtained an ancient treasure in the secret realm of all worlds, the Destiny Star Stone, which can greatly enhance his body and vitality. The treasure light flickered, fused with his bloodline, and its power skyrocketed again. He clenched his fists and felt the unrivaled coercion. His body was like a mountain, and his momentum pressed on all worlds. In this life, whoever dares to stop me, I will step on whoever it is. Ling Tian whispered. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 10 The Prologue to the Conquest of All Worlds. Ling Tian's reputation began to spread all over the world, and beauties and strong people from all walks of life threw themselves into their arms. The little lowly still followed, Yeli and other strong people secretly watched, and the demon gate saint was even more provocative. He smiled slightly and clenched his fists. I'm not a pervert, I only recognize strength, whoever is the hardest, who is the strongest, and who has a long life. From then on, Ling Tian's journey officially began. The strong men of all worlds surrendered or challenged under his gaze, and he would definitely become the supreme of all worlds. Chapter 11 The First Test of the Demon Gate. Ling Tian stepped into the secret realm of the demon sect and faced a group of top demon disciples. Each of them had a sharp breath, the weapons in their hands flashed with strange light, and their spiritual power surged, as if hell had descended. Boy, if we hadn't shown mercy today, you would have died long ago. The demon disciple shouted angrily. Ling Tian smiled slightly, and his fist slammed down like a mountain, shaking dozens of disciples away. The air was torn apart by the fist wind, the stones were scattered and flying, his aura was like a heavenly god descending into the world, shaking the secret realm's spiritual energy to roll. Yeli hid in the distance, a trace of surprise and curiosity flashed in her eyes. This young man. It's even more terrifying than rumors. Ling Tian scanned the audience, his eyes as cold as a galaxy. Whoever is the strongest will stand at my feet. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 12 Physical Limits. Ling Tian retreated for a few days, cultivating the strongest body. He ran the star power in his bloodline, his muscles were as hard as steel, and his bones were as strong as dragon spine. Every punch and slap can tear the air and shake the earth. Ling Tian looked at her and said softly, "Follow me to learn. Strength is the way to immortality, nothing else." Yeli secretly observed, silently admiring in her heart. This young man became less and less like a mortal. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 13 The First Battle of All Worlds. Ling Tian stepped into the Wanja arena for the first time and confronted strong people from all walks of life. The masters in the field were like clouds, and magic, spiritual power, and strange beasts came like a torrent. Ling Tian punched with one hand, shaking the formation in front of him. The fist wind poured down like a galaxy, and every blow brought the power to destroy the heavens and the earth. The spectators all exclaimed, "This young man. It's a destiny anomaly." Little Loli clenched her fists and secretly vowed in her heart, "Brother, I want to become stronger too." Underscore 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 un. Chapter 14 Mysterious Treasure. Ling Tian obtained an ancient treasure in the secret realm, the Destiny Star Stone. The treasure's light flickered, fused with his bloodline, and its strength skyrocketed, and even the air trembled for it. Holding the Destiny Star Stone, he felt his life force and strength double. In this life, whoever dares to stop me, I will step on whoever it is. Ling Tian said in a low voice, his eyes burning like flames. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 15 The Growth of the Little Loli. Little Loli practiced beside Ling Tian and gradually mastered the basic power. Ling Tian took her to tour the world every day, taught her tactics and boxing techniques, and took her to break through her limits step by step. Brother, I want to become as strong as you. The little Loli's eyes flashed with determination. Ling Tian patted her head and smiled. Okay, follow me, no one in the world can stop you. Chapter 16 The Demon Gate Saint Challenge. Yali appeared secretly and brought the Demon Gate Saint Yu Yu. Yu Yu was wearing a black robe and holding a cold light long sword, his breath was sharp, and he said in a cold voice, Boy, can you withstand our test? Ling Tian smiled, and his fist crashed down. Light and shadow intertwined, shattering the long sword formation. Yu Yu retreated several steps, secretly admiring him. This young man is truly extraordinary. Chapter 17 First Adventure. Ling Tian took Xiao Loli and Yeli into the secret realm of the demon realm, which was densely packed with traps and distorted aura. Every step could lead to death, but Ling Tian was not afraid at all. His fists smashed the stone wall, shattering the illusion of demonic energy. On the way, they encountered ancient magical beasts, and Yeli and little Loli worked together, but they were still repelled several times. Ling Tian roared, and the dragon soul awakened, instantly shocking the demonic beast. Chapter 18 The First Appearance of the Dragon Soul. In the depths of the secret realm, Ling Tian felt the call of the dragon soul. The blood vessels in his body were thirsty, and his fists were like flaming dragon shadows, breaking out of the sky, and every time he made a move, he could tear apart heaven and earth. Little Loli looked at him, admiration flashing in her eyes. Brother, are you God? Ling Tian smiled and whispered, not a god, just better than anyone else. Chapter 19 The First Earthquake of All Worlds. Ling Tian's power began to shake the world, and the masters of all races sensed his breath one after another. Demons, spirits, and people from other worlds have sent assassins and challengers one after another. Every challenge, Ling Tian could easily defeat it. His fists were like mountains, and his steps were like giant gods trampling. All worlds shook, and people whispered, this young man will be the supreme of all worlds. Chapter 20 The Genius Woman Follows. Demon Gate Girl Yu Yu and Celestial Elite Zingli began to follow Ling Tian. They each have their own merits, whether cold or hot, but they are all willing to surrender to the power of Ling Tian. Ling Tian just smiled faintly. I don't think following is because of love, but because of strength and survival. But deep down, he has a sense of responsibility and protection for these women. Chapter 21 Demon Gate Hunting. Ling Tian patrolled the border of all worlds, and the demon sect sent elite assassins Black Sha and Mad Blade to find an opportunity to assassinate. Their speed was like the wind, and they instantly appeared in front of Ling Tian, their weapons flashing with cold light. Ling Tian's eyes were cold, his fists were clenched, and the dragon soul in his body awakened. Whoever dares to move me will step on my feet. The fist wind bombarded the black demon and the crazy blade like a mountain, and the two took dozens of steps back, blood splattering. The demon sect elite was shocked. This young man. How can it be so terrifying? Ling Tian snorted coldly and forced the two of them back thousands of miles, his aura as powerful as a god descending upon the earth. Chapter 22 The Secret Realm of All Worlds. Ling Tian took little Loli and Yali into the secret realm of the netherworld in the depths of all worlds. The space of the secret realm is distorted, and every step can lead to disorientation or even death. They encountered otherworldly monsters, and Yeli and little Loli joined forces to resist, but they were still extremely dangerous. Ling Tian cast a red flame dragon shadow, smashing the chest of the demonic beast with a single punch, and the spiritual energy was surging like a galaxy, instantly clearing the battlefield. In the depths of the secret realm, Ling Tian discovered an ancient treasure chest containing star crystal cores, which could greatly enhance strength and physique. He held the crystal core, and his blood and power exploded to a new level. and the fist wind broke through the air, like a god descending. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 23 Women's Worship. After the secret exploration ended, more women followed Ling Tian. Yuiyu, Xingli, Yalan and other beauties of all ethnic groups have expressed their follow-up, and their respect and admiration are beyond words. Ling Tian looked at them and smiled faintly. I'm not a pervert, I only recognize strength. Whoever is the hardest, who is the strongest, and who has a long life. But deep down, he has a sense of responsibility, to protect his followers and take them all over the world. The little loli clenched her fists and secretly vowed to become stronger than her brother. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 24 The Demon Gate Saint chooses again. In order to test Ling Tian, the Demon Gate Saint Yu brought the demon sect elite Xianying to challenge. Xianying's speed was like light, and his offensive was like a torrential rain, instantly forcing Ling Tian to the edge of the cliff. Ling Tian smiled, his fist turned into a red flame dragon shadow, and the mysterious shadow was shaken back. Strength is the law of survival. Xianying was defeated, the demon disciples were shocked, and Ling Tian's reputation once again shook the world. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 25 The First Awakening of the Dragon Soul. In the depths of the netherworld secret realm, Ling Tian and little Loli practiced the Dragon Soul contract. The Dragon Soul was like a red flame dragon churning in its body, and every shot brought the power to tear the heavens and the earth. Ling Tian felt that his potential was awakened by the limit, and the red flame dragon shadow and fist power were completely integrated. Whoever is the hardest, who is the strongest, and who has a long life, I want to prove it to all worlds. Little Loli's eyes were shining, and she followed him closely, and her cultivation was also rapidly improved due to the Dragon Soul contract. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 26 The Demon Gate Siege. The demon sect united with the forces of the other world and sent a large army to besiege the place where Ling Tian was stationed. Ling Tian supported the sky with one hand, his fists were like mountains, crushing the enemy striker formation, and the battlefield was churning like hell. He bombarded continuously with the red flame dragon shadow and the star crystal core power, and all enemies collapsed. Little Loli and Yali assisted on the side, their combat power increased sharply, and Ling Tian stood in the center of the battlefield like a god. The high-ranking officials of the demon sect secretly retreated, secretly admiring in their hearts, this young man will be the supreme of all worlds. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 27 The Ancient Book of Heaven. Ling Tian discovered the ancient heavenly book in the depths of the secret realm of all worlds, recording peerless exercises and secret techniques. He practiced in seclusion, fusing the power of the red flame dragon shadow, the star crystal core, and the dragon soul contract, and his strength skyrocketed again. The spiritual energy between heaven and earth poured into his body like a torrent, and every time his fist shot, it could shatter mountains and rivers. The little Loli followed closely behind, and Yeli and the other followers silently felt Ling Tian's supreme coercion. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 28 The First Battle of All Worlds. Ling Tian made his first appearance in the Wanja arena, and masters from all walks of life gathered. The elites of the demon sect, the demon clan, and the Eldar clan gathered together to challenge Ling Tian's strength. The fist wind broke through the air, and the red flame dragon shadow and the star crystal core power were intertwined, shatting the opponent's formation with every blow. The audience sighed, this young man is already an extraordinary person. Ling Tian looked around and roared proudly in his heart, myriad worlds, from now on, this world is mine. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 29 A Woman's Crush. As Ling Tian became famous, the women who followed him expressed their admiration and secret love. Yuiyu, Xingli, Yalan and little Loli, each of them wants to travel all over the world with Ling Tian. Ling Tian smiled faintly, I only recognize strength and survival, whoever can be stronger than me, follow me. But deep down, he has a special protection and concern for the little Loli. underscore 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 un. Chapter 30 The leader of the demon sect appears. The leader of the demon sect, Venerable Black Shat, appeared and led an army of 100,000 to subdue Ling Tian. On the battlefield, the aura was churning, and the demon sect elites rushed in like a storm. Ling Tian sneered, his fist turned into a red flame dragon shadow, and he shook back tens of thousands of elites with one hand. The spiritual energy between heaven and earth trembled, he came to the world like a god, and the leader of the demon sect was terrified, this young man. Incredible. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 31 The catastrophe is coming. After Ling Tian broke through, all worlds sensed his strength, the sky cracked, and a red flame heavenly tribulation descended. The thunder was like a pillar of heaven, the stars seemed to be torn apart, and the spiritual energy between heaven and earth was rolling. Ling Tian runs the Dragon Soul contract and the Star Crystal Core power, and endures the baptism of heavenly tribulation. The red flame dragon shadow and fist power were completely fused, reversing the heavenly tribulation for their own use, and their strength soared to the peak. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 32 The War of All Worlds. Ling Tian led his followers and started the conquest of all worlds. Demon sects, Demon Clan, Eldar Clan, and other worldly elites came to challenge one after another, but every time they fought, Ling Tian crushed them like gods. On the battlefield, the red flame dragon shadow, Star Crystal Core power, and Dragon Soul contract power broke out at the same time, and the enemy collapsed like dust. All worlds shook, and people whispered, the supreme of all worlds, finally born. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 33 The Treasure of All Worlds. Ling Tian obtained the creation pearl in the depths of the secret realm, which can control life and death and reverse time. He had been in seclusion for several months, and his strength had skyrocketed again, and even the spiritual energy of heaven and earth flowed under his feet. Little Loli, Yeli and other female followers observed from the sidelines, all in awe. Ling Tian stood up, clenched his fists, and said coldly, whoever dares to stop me, I will step on whom. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 34 The Ancient Demon Challenge. The ancient demon elites came to challenge Ling Tian, the demonic energy was like a mountain, and the offensive was like a torrential rain. Ling Tian punched out like thunder, and the red flame dragon shadow and the power of the creation bead were intertwined, instantly defeating the demon elite. The demons were shocked, the leader knelt down and begged for mercy, and Ling Tian looked on coldly, I only recognize strength, whoever is the strongest will stand at my feet. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 35 The Rise of the Supreme of All Worlds. Ling Tian stood on the peak of the 10,000 realms, the red flame dragon shadow was radiant, and the power of the star crystal core and the creation bead surrounded his body. Little Loli, Yeli, and the women who followed her gathered around her, their eyes flashing. He looked down on the world, and his heart was full of pride. 20 years ago, I was just insignificant, but in 20 years, I will become the supreme of all worlds. Chapter 36 Desperate Trial. Ling Tian stepped into the legendary desperate realm of all worlds, where the space was distorted, the aura was like a torrent, time and space were disordered, and anyone who entered would be lost. He led the little Loli and Yeli through the desperate maze. Each floor is equipped with extreme trials, powerful magical beasts, space illusions, spiritual storms, and you will die if you are not careful. Ling Tian broke through the sky with the red flame dragon shadow, the fist wind shattered the maze barrier, and the dragon soul contract power churned in his body, like the awakening of the bloodline of a god. In this life, I want to travel all over the world and become an invincible supreme. Ling Tian roared in a low voice, and the spiritual energy between heaven and earth shook. Little Loli was beside him, breaking through the limits step by step, her eyes flashing with determination, brother, I want to catch up with you. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 37 Ancient Warcraft. In the depths of the desperate situation, an ancient demonic beast awakened, its body size like a mountain, and its eyes flashed with the light of death. Ling Tian stood on the edge of the valley, his fists clenched, and the red flame dragon shadow broke out of the air like a real dragon, and every shot was like a thunderbolt. The magical beast giant claw slapped it, the mountain rocks shattered, the spiritual energy rolled, and the surrounding space seemed to be distorted. Ling Tian used the power of the star crystal core, the fist strength and the power of the dragon soul contract were one, and he blasted out a punch, blasting the magical beast into flesh and blood. The spiritual energy flew, and the heavens and earth seemed to tremble. Little Loli couldn't help but exclaim, "Brother! You are really too strong." Ling Tian sneered, his eyes sweeping around, "Whoever dares to stop me, I will step on him." Chapter 38 Heaven and Earth Spiritual Treasure. In the depths of the desperate situation, Ling Tian discovered the ancient Heaven and Earth spiritual treasure, the red flame astrolabe, which could increase physical fitness and spiritual power by 100 times. He held the astrolabe with both hands, and the bloodline and the dragon soul contract instantly fused, and the red flame dragon shadow and fist power surged like a waterfall, and even the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was trembling. Little Loli and Yeli were amazed, their eyes full of admiration and admiration. Ling Tian smiled and said, "In this world, who is the hardest, who is the strongest, and who has a long life, it depends on the strength." Since then, his power has skyrocketed again, and he is almost unbeatable in all worlds. Chapter 39 The Demon Sect's Final Siege. The leader of the demon sect, Venerable Haisha, took action again, leading an army of 100,000 and elites from other worlds to besiege Ling Tian. The battlefield was like hell, the air was torn apart, the aura surged, and the mountains and rivers trembled. Ling Tian punched out, and the red flame dragon shadow and the star crystal core power exploded at the same time, shocking tens of thousands of elites away. The leader of the demon sect cursed in his heart, "This young man. It's just a god." Little Loli clenched her fists, and Yeli watched coldly, proving Ling Tian's invincibility in every battle. Ling Tian raised his hand, his fist was like thunder, and he shouted lightly, "All worlds, from now on, I am the king." Chapter 40 Heavenly Tribulation Extreme Realm. Ling Tian's strength broke through the peak, attracting the final heavenly tribulation of all worlds, red flame star thunder. The sky cracked, the thunder fell like a galaxy, the spiritual energy between heaven and earth rolled, and the space was torn into pieces. Ling Tian endured the heavenly tribulation, the red flame dragon shadow, star crystal core, and creation bead power were all awakened, and every blow could shatter heaven and earth. He absorbed the power of the heavenly tribulation and harnessed it for his own benefit. His form resembled a flaming dragon, his light enveloping the universe. Even the leaders of the demonic sects retreated in terror. "Who can stop me? All the worlds are at my feet." Ling Tian roared, his fists sweeping across the heavens. Chapter 41 The Surrender of All Races. Ling Tian officially ruled all worlds, and all races had to surrender. The demons, spirits, and demons sent tributes and treasures to pay their respects. Yuayu, Xingli, Yalan and other women who followed were also nearby, their eyes full of trust and admiration. Ling Tian stood on the top of the 10,000 worlds, his fists clenched, and the red flame dragon shadow enveloped the heavens and the earth. "This continent will be controlled by me from now on." Chapter 42 The War of All Worlds. The situation in the world is turbulent, and the forces of the other world are unwilling to surrender, so they join forces to challenge Ling Tian. Ling Tian led his followers, the red flame dragon shadow, the star crystal core, and the creation bead were one, and the power was like a galaxy pouring down. Every battle was extremely exaggerated, the sky collapsed, the aura surged, and the enemy elites collapsed like dust. Little Loli and Yeli practiced new moves by the side, and Ling Tian kept guiding them, so that their strength and wisdom improved simultaneously. "In this life, I want to engrave the name of the strongest in all worlds into the hearts of all beings," Ling Tian said coldly. Chapter 43 Ancient Secret Realm. Ling Tian discovered an ancient secret realm containing the ruins of lost civilizations and countless treasures. He has endured many illusions, space trials, and ancient guardian challenges in the secret realm. With every battle, Ling Tian could quickly break the situation. The red flame dragon shadow and the star crystal core power were intertwined, turning the illusion into nothingness. In the deepest part of the secret realm, he obtained the Vientian reverse heavenly pearl, which can control life and death in reverse time. Ling Tian held the bead, feeling that his strength surpassed the sky, almost becoming one with heaven and earth. Chapter 44 Peerless Showdown. The strongest in all worlds, the Demon Emperor, Spirit Venerable, and Demon Emperor, joined forces to challenge Ling Tian. The battlefield was like a sea of chaotic stars, with spiritual energy, and demonic power intertwined, as if the heavens were shattering at the same time. Ling Tian punched like thunder, and the power of the red flame dragon shadow, star crystal core, creation bead, and Vientian anti-heaven Ji burst out at the same time, instantly crushing the three top masters. The Demon King, the Spirit Lord, and the Demon Emperor knelt and begged for mercy. All realms shook, and all living things trembled. Ling Tian snorted coldly, "Who dares to stop me? Kneel down." Chapter 45 The Birth of the Supreme of All Worlds. Ling Tian finally broke through to the realm of the Supreme of all realms. The power of the red flame dragon shadow, the star crystal core, the creation pearl, and the myriad things against the sky pearl were combined into one, and his momentum overwhelmed all races. Little Loli, Yeli, and the woman who followed him stood beside them, all amazed by their invincible momentum. Ling Tian looked down at the world, clenched his fists, and said coldly, 20 years ago, I was insignificant, but 20 years later, I will become the supreme of all worlds. Chapter 46 The Heavens Conquer. Ling Tian began to conquer the heavens and all worlds, and elites from all walks of life surrendered to him one after another. He traveled all over the demon realm, the holy land of the Eldar race, and the peak of the demon gate, and every battle was like a broken galaxy. Little Loli, Yeli and other followers practiced nearby, and Ling Tian taught secret techniques while fighting, and no one in the world could match him. Chapter 47 The Grand Ceremony of All Worlds. Ling Tian ruled all worlds, held a grand ceremony of all worlds, and representatives of all ethnic groups gathered. The spiritual energy between heaven and earth flowed, the stars twinkled, and the creatures of all worlds bowed their heads. He punched down, shaking the mountains and rivers, and the entire world trembled. The little girl clenched her fists and vowed in her heart, "Brother, I will walk shoulder to shoulder with you and travel through the worlds." Chapter 48 The Fusion of Peerless Treasures. Ling Tian fused the scarlet flame star plate, the star crystal core, the creation pearl, and the myriad heaven-defying pearl, his power surging once again. His fist transformed into a giant scarlet flaming dragon, tearing through the air, each strike capable of shattering stars. In the myriad worlds, countless masters surrendered, and even the ancient demon race did not dare to challenge. Ling Tian sneered, looking down at the world, "Whoever is the strongest and who has the longest life will be decided by me from now on." Chapter 49 The Final Form of the Tribulation. Ling Tian broke through to the peak of the divine realm and ushered in the final heavenly tribulation, galaxy collapse thunder. The sky cracked, lightning flashed like a galaxy, the spiritual energy of all realms trembled, and even space itself distorted. Ling Tian endured the calamity, his fists like flaming dragons, each blow shattering the heavens and earth, turning the calamity to his own ends. He stood atop the myriad realms, his aura like a god descending upon the earth. All races bowed to him, and heaven and earth submitted. Chapter 50 Overlooking All Life. Ling Tian stood on the highest peak of the myriad worlds, the red flame dragon shadow shrouded the heavens and the earth, and the power of the four treasures merged throughout the body. He looked down upon the myriad realms, all races in submission, the stars twinkling like fireworks. Little Lolita, Yeli, and the women who followed him gathered around him, all filled with awe. Ling Tian clenched his fists, his eyes swept over every corner of the world like flames. 20 years ago, I was insignificant, but 20 years later, I will become the supreme of all worlds. All lives bow their heads, and all worlds are ruled by me. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth was shaken, the stars flowed backwards, and the supreme of all realms, Ling Tian, was finally born. Extra Chapter 1, The Challenge of the Secret Realm Outside the Sky. Ling Tian looked down on the world, but felt the changes in the land outside the sky. The cracks in the sky were like rivers of blood, and an ancient aura came from afar, with the coercion of destroying heaven and earth. Secret realm outside the sky. Even I have never set foot in this place. Ling Tian whispered. Little Loli clenched her fists, her eyes flashing with determination. Brother, I'll go with you. Yeli nodded. No matter how dangerous it is, we will follow you. Stepping into the secret realm, Ling Tian found that the space was distorted like quicksand, and the spiritual energy was rushing, and even time was trembling. The guardian of the secret realm star giant spirit appeared, his body as tall as a mountain, and his eyes were scrutinizing. Ling Tian was unhurried, the red flame dragon shadow and fist power burst out at the same time, shocking the giant spirit back a few steps. Whoever can stop me, I will step on whom. He shouted lowly, his fist shadow shattered the void, and the secret realm shook like thunder. The giant spirit sneered, casting an ancient forbidden technique, and the space distortion surrounded Ling Tian, but Ling Tian snorted coldly, fusing the creation bead with the power of the Vientian anti-heaven pearl, instantly shaking the forbidden technique back and shaking the giant spirit to a rout. Little Loli exclaimed, Brother, it's amazing. Ling Tian smiled faintly, and his eyes swept around. This secret realm can't escape my palm. Underscore 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 un. Extra Chapter 2, The Pinnacle of the Battle of the Heavens. Ling Tian received the message that there was a change in the other realm of the heavens, the Dark God realm, summoning the ancient demon god, intending to challenge the supreme of the 10,000 realms. He led his followers to rush there, and on the way, the galaxy flowed backwards, and the aura was turbulent, trembling like the end of the world. The leader of the demon god, Nether Demon Venerable, appeared, his eyes were like lava, his demonic energy was rolling, and the entire earth was trembling. The Ling Tian red flame dragon shadow turned into a flame dragon, and the fist shadow struck down like thunder, instantly repelling the demon god. The demon god scolded secretly, this mortal boy can actually resist the ancient demon god. The battle lasted for several days and nights, and Ling Tian fully used the power of the Vientian anti-heaven bead and the creation pearl, shattering the void of the demon realm with every blow. In the end, Nether Demon Venerable knelt down and begged for mercy, and all worlds were stable again. Little Loli, Yeli, and the women who followed him surrounded them, their eyes full of admiration and awe. Ling Tian raised his eyes and looked around, clenched his fists, and said coldly, Who dares to challenge me? Kneel down. Underscore 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 un. Extra Chapter 3, The Awakening of the Peerless Treasure of All Worlds. Ling Tian stepped into the ancient forbidden land and discovered an ancient giant pearl called Vientianji, which was claimed to be able to manipulate life and death and reverse the laws of heaven and earth. He gently held the giant bead, and the bloodline, dragon soul contract, red flame astrolabe, and star crystal core power were all fused. The spiritual energy of the entire world surged like a tide, fists struck, heaven and earth collapsed, and stars reversed. Little Loli couldn't help but exclaim, Brother, you are stronger than last time. Ling Tian smiled lightly, his eyes swept across the world, strength is the only rule, whoever is the strongest, I am the master. At this moment, the souls of all living beings in the myriad realms felt shocked, and even the ancient gods did not dare to make mistakes. Underscore 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 un. Extra Chapter 4, The Arrival of a Powerful Enemy in the Other World. Just as Ling Tian was looking down at the world, the crack in the other world opened, and a black flame god king appeared with his whole body burning like dark flames. He brought millions of otherworldly elites with the intention of seizing control of the world. Ling Tian snorted coldly, and a red flame dragon shadow erupted in his fist, and each blow was like a galaxy pouring down, shaking tens of thousands of alien elites away. The Black Flame God King showed a strange smile, Young man, I want to see if you can compete with the power of the other world. The two sides fought until the stars collapsed and the void rolled. Ling Tian finally used the power of the creation bead and the Vientianji to blast the Black Flame God King and the elites of the other world into the dimensional rift, and the world was stabilized again. The little lowly clenched her fists, her eyes flashing with excitement. Brother, you are amazing. Ling Tian smiled faintly, his eyes swept all over the world, and he silently thought in his heart, this world, my rule has just begun. Underscore 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 un. Extra Chapter 5, The Universal Ceremony and Mysterious Inheritance. Ling Tian held a ceremony for all worlds, elites from all walks of life gathered, and the spiritual energy between heaven and earth rolled like a torrent. He announced that he would select followers for the ancient legacy trial, so that the new forces of the world would rise. Little Loli, Yeli, and the women who followed him participated one after another and accepted Ling Tian's personal guidance. The fist shadow exploded, and the dragon soul contract and the power of the Vientianji evolved at the same time, even the heavens and the earth trembled for it. After the trial, Ling Tian officially passed on some of the Wanja commanding power to his followers, making the order of the 10,000 worlds stable, but no one could surpass Ling Tian's peak. He looked down at the worlds, the shadow of the red flame dragon enveloped the galaxy like a flame dragon, and said coldly, whoever is the strongest, who has the longest life, all worlds are in my hands. Extra Chapter 6, Galaxy Rift. When Ling Tian was patrolling the 10,000 realms, he sensed the change in the galaxy rift. The sky cracked, like countless rivers of blood-colored light pouring down, the aura was turbulent, and even the top masters of the world could not approach. This crack. It is not the power of the mortal world, but the traces of the divine realm of the heavens. Ling Tian's eyes were cold, his fists were clenched, and the red flame dragon shadow sensationally shook the heavens and the earth. Little Loli and Yeli followed closely behind, their strength increased rapidly due to Ling Tian, their eyes flashing with determination. Brother, I'm not afraid, I want to stand side by side with you. Stepping into the crack, Ling Tian found that the energy of the other world and the laws of space were completely distorted, and the whole world flowed like a liquid state. The otherworldly creature Galaxy Ghost appeared, with a form like light, so fast that it could not be captured by the naked eye. Ling Tian snorted coldly, his fist turned into a red flame dragon shadow, and a punch shattered the ghost group. The light and shadow of the galaxy were like a backflow flood, and countless otherworldly elites were shaken back. Whoever dares to stop me, all worlds will step under my feet. He shouted in a low voice, his aura rolling like a frenzy. Underscore 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 un. Extra Chapter 7, The Demon Gods of the Heavens Descended. After the crack dissipated, Ling Tian felt the awakening of the heavenly demon gods. Ancient demon god Dark Hades appeared, bringing millions of elites from the other world with the intention of seizing the supreme position of all worlds. Ling Tian stood on the top of the myriad worlds, his fists were like flame dragons, and the red flame dragon shadow and star crystal core power turned into supreme coercion. He smashed the space and blasted the attacking demon god elite, and the demon god's heart trembled. This young man. How can it be so terrifying? The battle lasted for several days, the galaxy collapsed, and the void rolled. Ling Tian used the power of the creation bead and the Vientianji to shock the Dark Hades and his followers into the dimensional rift, and the 10,000 realms were stable again. Little Loli clenched her fists, her eyes flashing with blood. Brother, you are the strongest in all worlds. Ling Tian smiled faintly, his eyes swept all over the world, and he silently thought in his heart, this world, my rule has just begun. Underscore 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 un. Extra Chapter 8, The Awakening of the Ancient Dragon Realm. Ling Tian received an ancient message that the seal of the ancient dragon domain was collapsing. There is an ancient dragon god lurking in the dragon domain, and his power is enough to tear apart all worlds. Ling Tian and his followers rushed there, and on the way, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth rolled, and the space flowed like a liquid state. He stepped into the dragon domain, his fist turned into a red flame dragon, and every blow shattered the barrier of the ancient dragon domain. The ancient dragon god woke up, his body was like a mountain, the dragon's breath was like a torrent of flames, the stars were reversed, and the heavens and the earth were shattered. Ling Tian fought with the dragon god, the power of the fist shadow, the dragon soul contract, the red flame astrolabe, and the Vientianji were intertwined, and the entire dragon domain trembled like the end of the world. In the end, Ling Tian sealed the ancient dragon god in his own power, the dragon soul contract and the red flame dragon shadow became one, and the entire dragon domain was controlled by him. Little Loli exclaimed, Brother! Even the ancient dragon god can control it. Ling Tian sneered, his eyes swept over the dragon domain. Who can stop me? All worlds and races are under my feet.